Good after evening noon, and everybody. Good after evening noon.
Hello, hello.
Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to the Ham Radio Kids Table. It is another Wednesday night, and we have gathered around to see what kind of mayhem and trouble we can cause. And tonight, we are joined by James from the World Radio League to talk about some like slight thing that's going on here in the next week or two that might
Just
have
a
some people's attention.
just a little thing called Winter Field Day. I think a couple people have heard of it.
Yeah.
But Tim, Jeff, thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Thank you for being here. So I did want to talk. We talked briefly it was down in Huntsville and everything. And then this came up and I wanted to get you in here because you guys, the World Radio League, are kind of playing a little bit of a significant role in being able to assist in Winter Field Day. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, but also find out a little bit more about World Radio League and some of the other ventures that you guys are doing. So I guess to get it kicked off, how did World Radio League, because you also have ham radio prep too. Is that's correct, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess how did this all become to fruition?
Well, it's kind of crazy to be sitting here in the beginning of 2026, which, by the way, I'm probably going to be writing 2025 on all my documents for the next 3 or 4 months, because that's just by the time I get used to writing 2026 on stuff, it'll be almost 2027. But so I was a couple years out of engineering school when I got my ham radio license, and at the time, me and a friend started creating ham radio prep at the same time I got my license, just because there were no video courses at the time. And so I created a first kind of hey, me talking to a PowerPoint type of thing. And it was very basic electrical engineering. And that's how ham radio prep got started. And then ham radio prep, we got linked up with Jim in N0WRL. I actually met him on Reddit, and then he became the lead instructor at ham radio prep, and he really helped increase the kind of the level of instruction. And I mean, I still consider myself so many things I still need to learn about ham radio today. And I mean, imagine this was back in 2018, 2019. I'm like a noob, and so I'm I know the electrical concepts, but it's all the practical stuff I'm clueless. So we're kind of figuring it out. Ham radio prep is continuing to grow, and as we start as we finish all the license courses and everything, we're kind of hey, what's next? And one of the things we kept getting asked from students of ham radio prep is we would get really more support tickets of people asking us how to use this logger or that logger. And so that was kind of a clue. We're hey, what if we just made it was just a website, and all it was a basic, you've got a call sign, RSD sent, RSD received to frequency. You click enter, you don't have to log anything, and we're going to call it World Radio League, and we'll just see what we can turn it into. And so that was 2.5 years ago now, and it's just a brick at a time and getting a little bit better. And I think we're to a point now where we've got a really big vision with World Radio League where we want it to go and where we want to continue to innovate. And I mean, it's a really good time in ham radio in general right now with people actually really being interested in trying new stuff. So I think it's kind of, it's a good time to be working on stuff like this.
I agree. And I think one of the things I've been very supportive of you guys, and with Sebastian with Polo, and I started when I started doing portable work, it was with hammers, and Jared had to take some time, and I guess he's kind of back now. But what all three of your groups camps bring to the table, the kids table, of course, is that all of you guys are writing with modern code. You're working with modern devices. We're not trying to drag along something from the 90s and just keep patching it. And I think the probably the guys that were young back then that did that, they just, sometimes it's a labor of love, right? And they haven't updated it, but there's a lot of advances in technology that you guys are all taking advantage of. And I like that because I think at the end, everybody, depending on which platform you like, I think everybody benefits from that. And that's,
Yeah, and you can use multiple platforms. I mean, like if you think about, kind of, so I think you got to give Hammers and Jared a lot of credit because, they were the first ones that built sort of a
yep.
modern interface of the logger, and that opened up a lot of possibilities. I think made a lot of other people think about it too. But I think they've used Ruby, Ham2K, Sebastian, great guys. They're using React as well. We use
Mhm.
React and we use React Native on mobile. And the great thing about these new frameworks is because they're getting constant development support and updates and things, it's also a lot easier for us to maintain and update our apps and
Yep.
keep new features coming. Because eventually, with some of the older frameworks and things, it's like you kind of accumulate a tech debt where you're spending more time like cleaning up than you are like than you are building.
Jeff and I, but Jeff and I are both in IT, so we understand that term very well. Tech
And
debt, right?
I have a little bit of a design background, and so my first IT job was working for a local internet provider, and they said go out and find some kind of company. I forget what it was. Look them up on the internet and get the ones that you think are good. It's like, how do I know they're good? It's like, if their website looks good, right, keep that information. If it looks like garbage, get rid of it, ignore them. So,
Hmm.
and that's always stuck with me. So I'm always looking at UI design. And one of my jobs, I actually had to beta test and try to break QA test programs that were written in house. And I would do everything in my power to make the UI and the UX work. UI is user interface for people that don't know, and UX is user experience. So I always had to make sure that stuff worked. And when I'm looking for stuff, when I was looking for logging programs for my Mac, there's a few out there. There's like Mac Logger DX. When I
Hmm.
started, there was Etherlog and one or two others. And Mac Logger DX was kind of old school looking. So I was like, I don't know. I mean, the price didn't bother me. And I looked at Etherlog, which is no longer being developed apparently, and it looked more modern. 2015, 2016 when I started
Yep.
looking.
Yep.
So I was like, I'm going with that one. So
And the design trends change so much.
yeah,
I mean, even stuff that sometimes when they do shit, when design changes, sometimes it even gets on my nerves a little bit on the far end. But you most of the time you kind of adjust. Like if you've updated your iPhone to like the newest operating system, they've moved a lot of things. Like
yep,
they're starting to make where the main interactive component is really down to your thumbs, right? And the search
hmm
is there, so your message is different. And for us as like app developers, we have to kind of stay up with that and think,
yep,
okay, if that's what people are going to be seeing on their phone most of the time, we don't want our interface to feel like something that's so foreign and different. Like it shouldn't feel like you're having to like do a lot of relearning to use it.
yep,
And
Mm.
like when
That's
you think about settings, for instance, you have to be very careful, like because there's a lot of customizations people want, but you only want to keep the customizations that you most use on your first level
yes,
of interface, and then you want to keep a less common setting in a sort of a second level, because otherwise it becomes, you know,
Is this,
yeah, and
you.
all
I
the
wonder if this
requests
is
that
the thought. Is this the thought process behind Jesus deep F menu?
I don't
Is
think
that it?
I don't think they
The
listen to
deep
the
F,
users.
the deep F menu explained by James.
I don't think they listen to the
I'm not a
users, but
Yezu guys, but maybe I'm turning into a Yezu spokesman. I don't know.
Yeah.
but
Somebody's
I
got to
know
make.
developers get loads and loads of requests for like, hey, can you add this? Can you add that? And it's like you got to think about like your program might be do like one thing, like logging, for example, and like pulling data from like QRZ or some other database. But and then say, hey, how about a mapping program? How about doing this or doing that? It's like, well, it's going beyond the original scope of the application.
Right.
But and there's advice or just suggestions, maybe enhancements that are always good. Sometimes a lot of times they're pretty good. Sometimes they're not so good. It might be a specific use case for a single person. It's like, well, if only one person's like requesting that, I don't think I really could add that kind of thing. Depends on the functionality, what they want. But yeah, listen to everyone. It's good to know what people want and implement some of that stuff, but you got to know UI design. You got to know where to put it, the direction of it, and where you want to take your application.
Yeah, and I can give you guys some demos and things too if you want to see some of the Winterfield. Like I've got some of the stuff in dev loaded up that's not on the live site yet, so I can give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview of some stuff coming.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Okay,
An
cool.
exclusive right here, guys.
This actually is an exclusive. This is a never before seen. Like this, I was just finishing some of this up today. So if you are a beta tester with us, you have access to this. I've got like that weird nightlight thing set. So my let me turn that off because my colors are kind of weird. Does that brighten it up a little bit now? I don't know if you guys can see the difference on that, but yeah. In any case, so when you log into World Radio League, you've got your all your main options. I don't need to give everybody a full demo of everything today. I think a lot of people have played around with World Radio League. If you haven't played around, just come and go to worldradiologue.com, start clicking around, search for some call signs, check out all the stuff that's in here. This is just a dev environment that I've got here because I'm showing Tim and Jeff some exclusive stuff because this has our Winterfield Day code before it gets pushed to prod. So you come into the Winterfield Day contest, you can see right now it's saying it's live, but that's because we're like testing it. But if you go over to production, so you just go to your regular worldradiologue.com and you go to Winterfield Day, you can see it's about to start in 9 days, which is kind of crazy. It's coming up really fast. So you can go ahead and enroll in the contest and it's going to create you a logbook. And so the way that our contest page works is it's like a list of all the upcoming contests and you can kind of pick and choose, which this is nice, right? Because a lot of times you don't even really know what contests are coming up. And then you have to coordinate between knowing, all these hundreds of contests and then, setting up your logger for each one and things like that. Well, with World Radio League, like a North American QSO party is coming up. I almost forgot about this. If I hadn't popped up right now, I might have forgotten about it. So let's say I want to, enroll in this. So when you enroll in it, you get your, countdown to the contest, but it also creates you a logger that has the contest exchange in it. So it's for for NAQP, it's name and state or province. So, if I'm logging Tim here, and we do have cat control as well too. So look at Tim. He's a great host, Ed. He's got his profile picture set up and everything. And I'll him in Indiana and log, and then I'm logging, and it's going to start mapping my contacts, all of that good stuff. You can also, from the logging interface, a kind of nice trick here too. It's going to tell me it's a dupe, but you can actually write notes. So if I wanted to write like Grayman POTA, and then every time I log you, this is just my own personal notes about you. So I have that. But I'll just show a couple of quick things here on Winterfield Day. So Winterfield Day, what's nice about Winterfield is you have all these objectives. So we've built working with the Winterfield Day team, we've built all of those in so you can operate 100% on alternative power, operate away from home, deploy multiple antennas, make a satellite contact, receive and copy the Winterfield Day special bulletin. So as you go kind of earning the objectives, you can mark those in. And then as you're logging contacts, you're going to show up on the leaderboard as well. So
do you have to be in the online version, or can you do this with the mobile app?
You can do it with the mobile app. So if you go and you search for World Radio League on iOS or Android, we've got a mobile app as well. The mobile app is going to be a little bit more streamlined. You're going to have your logging interface, and it'll have your Winterfield Day template and things like that. but it's not going to have the leaderboards or some of the statistics and objectives.
Okay, so scaled back for limited bandwidth utilization, I'm assuming then.
Yep, limited bandwidth,
Okay.
and it'll actually work completely offline. So you
Okay.
can, so the way our mobile app works is it writes all the data to the offline database first, but it does sync it to the cloud. So if I were to like log a contact on my phone right now and I was logged into the same account, it would show up to my account here online as well.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and Vince has been able to join us. Let's go ahead and bring him in. Vince, how you doing?
Hey, I'm better now that my audio is working.
We can hear
Awesome.
you. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
James,
Well,
so
good
glad
deal.
you're here, man. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt your spiel. Please keep going, dude.
No, not at all. Good to have you. I'm glad your headset's working now.
Well, it's kind of working. I'm on the backups. Got the wires on tonight, but that's okay. I enjoy these Sony headphones, so that's good.
There you go. All right, so you do have the ability to do a mobile only app, whether it's tablet or phone.
Yep.
It is scaled back, so if you're in an area where you don't have internet connectivity or low connectivity, like I've downloaded it to my tablet. I have a cellular modem in it, but some of the places I operate, I'm lucky if I get an LTE signal, let alone anything else. So it's just doing minimal like lookups, so QRZ. So it's bringing me QRZ information, and I've noticed that, you know, sometimes based on where I'm at, that may not be the best way to go, and I might just turn off the connection so I don't wait for lookups and everything that slow me down.
And we used to, so we made a pretty big update to the app recently as well, where we used to, like what we used to do, which was a bad initial design, which is on me, but I used to like basically try to detect if you had a network connection, and then if you had a network connection, write to our cloud database, and if you didn't, write to the offline database. Sounds great, right? But what ended up happening was, if you're going in and out of a connection, that connection check is not reliable. And so now our app always writes to the offline database. So like you could operate in a spotty connection, you could operate offline. You're not going to get call sign lookups in offline mode today. So if the network connection isn't there, you know, you can log normally, but you won't see any like QRZ data or anything come in.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you do get a connection and you open your app up, whoop, all your contacts that have been offline get synced to your cloud account. So you've got them as soon as you log into World Radio League.
Awesome.
But what's really cool, I want to say one thing that's especially for Winter Field Day that's coming up is the multi-operator support. That's a big one because like if you're operating with a club, it can be really tricky to get set up where everybody can log into the same logbook. But all you have to do with World Radio League is you just create a club account and you get everyone to log in. And then once everyone's logged in, all your contacts are, once you get everybody logged in, then all your contacts are going into the same logbook, and you can see duplicates. You can see what each operator is doing. You can see, operator by operator stats and things like that. So that's, I know, one of the things from Winter Field Day last year and from Field Day itself, a lot of clubs really loved World Radio League because it was just so much easier to get set up for a multi-operator kind of setup.
And I'm sure clubs love this feature.
So the one thing that I have seen when you go to a group setup and they're running N0WRL, they have to understand how to do networking.
Yeah.
And they may not, peer-to-peer networking. And they may not understand it. Everybody knows how to get connected to the internet, right? So whether it's you have a wireless access point and everybody's connecting to it, it's all going up to a centralized location, or everybody's on a cellular device. Either way, there's not a whole lot of extra lifting required to get that done.
Yeah, exactly. So that's a big one. And I mean, there's lots of other concepts in here too. We've got integrations with QRZ, LOTW. We're planning on adding a lot more and adding, an open API as well. So, you can get an API key and kind of, build your own things off of this. But even if you're using N3FJP or N1MM, but you just want to stream your contacts to World Radio League and show up on the leaderboards, you can do that as well. And I see a comment from Raven Bars Repair there. That feature is already working in dev. I think I said on our Monday live stream that if it wasn't live this week, I would, eat my foot or something like that. So we're really trying. But
Are we
basically,
gonna have a double exclusive tonight on the kids' table?
yeah, it could be. I hope not. But oh no, I don't. Well, let's see. I don't know if I can.
Eat your foot live on camera, or
I can't. No. Well,
No.
I was thinking. I was like, are you asking me to eat my foot live or show the feature?
well, I mean, if it would be an exclusive, either way, I don't care.
But
As long as it's family friendly, of course.
But we're very close. So like basically, if you do our QRZ integration, it pulls over all your contacts, and if they're confirmed on QRZ, we get that information too. But what happens is then later a contact gets confirmed in QRZ after the import. We're writing a mechanism that rechecks. It goes back to QRZ and basically asks contact by contact, hey, are you confirmed now? And if it's confirmed, then we get it. So that's the new feature that's coming.
Are you doing confirmations or uploads to Logbook of the World? You said.
Yes. So you can import all of your contacts from Logbook of the World, and it'll pull over your confirmations. And we don't have Logbook of the World export yet, but we're actively working on that.
I was gonna say, how are you dealing with that pain in the neck, prehistoric TQSL authentication?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Yeah.
I would love a way to distinguish locations. I think you guys I have to dive deeper into World Radio League on this one. But I don't operate from the same place too often. Sometimes it's I have a large forest behind me, so I'm over there a lot. But it's big enough that there's a couple different grid squares that I operate out of. And same thing with homes. So I've got like 4 primary locations, but then anytime I go to a park or something like that, Mike agrees with me. He knows exactly what I'm talking about. So having to create a new location every time inside that TQSL, I'm done with Logbook.
Yeah. I mean, I don't use Logbook of the World.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to support everything we possibly can.
Yep.
So I mean, I know it's important to a lot of people, so we're adding it. But I mean, I'm not a LOTW user.
Yeah. But I would like to be able to log all of these locations as individual locations and deal with, maybe sending out QSL cards. I've pretty much, I haven't pushed any of my POTA logging into my station log, or even because there's no clean way with the programs that I've got to really do that.
Could I show you how we do it in WRL? It might help you out a little bit, actually. But if you go into WRL and you go to your profile page, you have a list of operating locations, and so you can set different operating locations and save them if you're going to reuse them in different logbooks and things like that. So like this is like I was operating from WP3C station, one of my friends, Alfredo, in Puerto Rico. It's a killer station. So I added his station in there. And so if I was operating that station, when I create a new logbook, I can set that as the location.
Cool.
And then, so like, let's just do an example. I'll call it like Puerto Rico test. now if I'm logging, let's log events here. And when I go to my mapping, it's, you know, putting me in that station in Puerto Rico. But if you're doing like a, you know, let's say you're doing a POTA or something like that, I'll do a logbook and I'll add the POTA park location. As soon as you put in a park, it's going to move your location from the save location to the park. It's going to want to default you to the
Nice.
park location.
Okay.
So we have kind of different types of locations for different things. You know, you can have your saved operating location, or if you just even like you were just operating from a place where you may not operate again, you can also just kind of, you know, set your location on a map, or, you know, set your location on the fly, and you can set a specific location from where you're operating.
Is there a way to, so you mentioned like if you put a POTA in, so I'm assuming worldwide fauna, SOTA, any of those things, it's going to take the grid square that's been associated with that entity.
Yep.
But I'm thinking about the forestry behind me. I don't know how many grid squares that covers, 4 or 5. So can I override the default grid square that is listed through POTA, for example, easily and have like, you know, it's 4215, but then have sub locations of 4215.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like
Okay.
if you, so when I first select, like I select, what's your park? 42?
Yeah, 4215.
4215. So let's grab 4215. So this is where it puts it. So like, let's go to the map here. You could just kind of, one quick way would just be to adjust it a little bit, just via the map, and then confirm it, and then keep going that way. Or you could actually enter in a new grid square. Or you could even just like, let's just like start the logbook, and then I'll go to my location. Yeah, I guess you'd probably do either enter the grid manually, or the set on map would be, unless you wanted to create a saved location, it gives you a little bit more options.
So I typically, we have, there's 3 twofer, well, there's 2 twofer settings in there. So what I've generally done is I've just selected, like if it's the nature preserve and the state forest, I select the nature preserve first, and that usually captures that grid square.
Yeah.
And that's what almost everything gets reported under. And I'll do that. I don't know if it's similar in World Radio League or.
Yeah, similar thing. Like whatever you select first, we take that as the primary. So
Mhm.
like it's going to
Okay.
drive that. And you do also have like some of these like multi-state parks, and like some parks that are like, you know, like the Trail of Tears. It's like,
Oh yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's like a hugely long park. So like we're just going to pull whatever location POTA gives, but you probably want to fine tune that a little bit.
Okay.
But what else do you guys want to know? And I'm kind of interested too. Like, you know, I'm always very interested in like kind of what do we think would be really awesome to see in World Radio League or in ham radio in general this year. I mean, 2026, I think a lot of really cool things we could do on the
Yeah.
contesting and leaderboard side. Because there's always kind of like, look, there's the things you got to do, and then there's the things you want to do.
Yes.
And sometimes you got to balance those, because there's so many things we've got to do. We know there's a lot of work that like we just need to do, that are features that people need. But I'm also like super excited about, you know, building some of these like innovative new types of contests. And that's a lot of the stuff that kind of keeps me up at night, is like, what are some really cool types of new contesting that we could build in here?
Well, I definitely think, I know there was a push started a couple of years ago about the gamification of amateur radio, and I coming along with this next generation of contesting in a way, you know, and it could be micro contesting. It doesn't have to be one of these, 2-day long events. But doing these things, and I think a platform like this gives a great opportunity to do that because you can build things dynamically and pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, and half the battle is just like building up all this, like these things that you have to get to where you can do that, because you have to have the logging interface, you have to integrate with the other loggers, and um, have like you have to have enough of a user base to where people will actually try it. But
Here's your 2026 business.
I love it. Are you good on
Damn right.
Matter of fact,
that's awesome.
I would have stickers made and I would be giving those out at Hamcation. Are you good on WRL?
That's cool.
And make it look exactly like in the same style, the same oval style.
Okay, if we
or I'm good on WRL, stickers, buttons.
I mean, have fun with it.
We might have it. We might have the birth of a super funny Hamcation marketing campaign.
I would have fun with it. I think sometimes that's the one thing that I think a lot of people sometimes get just a little too serious in amateur radio, and have fun, enjoy it.
I'm guilty of it myself sometimes too. But when I'm having fun, things just go better.
Absolutely.
When you're just having fun and you're working on stuff that you really want to work on. But I'm fortunate that this is what I work on ham radio all the time. That's it's weird. It's like, because it's like, it's like a dream in a lot of ways, like getting to play radio and work on technology and stuff. So I'm like, I have to always remind myself not to take it too seriously, because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is having some fun.
Well, be Wellen, that is a feature now. Call sign, comma, call sign, comma, call sign, and they all get dropped in the log.
Yeah. That is supported, so just drop those commas. Here, you guys want to...
I guess maybe to tag along with that on that. So I know one of the other features that Sebastian had come up with based on user feedback was, I'm working a pileup and I hear 5 or 6 partial calls. Have you been able to integrate something like that to where instead of doing a combo where it's like 5 people from one location, you're hearing 3 or 4 or 5 partial calls where you get them in and you can work each one off that list?
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's a really cool idea. We haven't implemented that in WRL. It's a great idea though.
Yet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's like, we like, I would say, if you're part of WRL, we usually send a weekly email. So we try to drop new features pretty much every week, and the prioritization is very tricky, right? But we try to not think about it so much of competitively, or what's QRZ doing, or what's Polo doing, or what's XYZ doing. But it's just like, what is of all the things that we want to do and all the things that our community is telling us, which one of those are really going to move the needle? And but you have to balance that with, some of them are also just insanely hard. So you have to balance your time with that too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, people have some good ideas. Not everyone has a great idea, but you guys like, that might be easy to do. We could look into that. Yeah. And then it's like, oh man, that might take a major update kind of thing. Well, you can put it on the back burner, but we could look into it kind of thing. But
yeah. What do you guys use, Jeff and Vince? What do you guys use for logging today?
I'm kind of a person of habit, so I've been using Polo And I have signed up for World Radio League, and I'm actually on the site now, and I was adding some spots, like the different parks that I go to. I just need like a good day where I can like take the time out. That's my big issue is time. When I go out, I was like, I need to make my contacts, get the park activated, and have a little bit extra. I could actually like just stay there for like 45 minutes instead of like 30 or whatever. But it's like then I gotta go and get stuff done. So I've been meaning to try World Radio League.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think. Yeah. Go ahead, Tim.
Well, I was going to say, so, and I was Polo too, and I used it. I had a bunch of problems with the old hammers. It was before Jarrett had revamped it,
Yep.
and I had switched over to Polo. And like Jeff, I become a creature of habit. I don't even have to think twice about doing it. I try to work contacts pretty quickly, so I don't want to have to think about that. So I forced myself to do it. I did it on a live stream in the field during an activation, trying to operate at the same pace I normally
That's one
operate.
way to do it. I think when I started with Polo, or even like a logging app on my computer for home, I just kind of put dummy contacts and just trying to get a feel for the application, how it worked, how the user flow or the user interface worked, and how everything would work, and like try to add them like in a pile-up kind of situation, just playing around with it before actually being on the air. Then you kind of get more stressed if you're trying to do it while you're live or on the air. In my opinion.
Definitely if you're live, you don't, as with you guys on YouTube, you don't want to be like on a live stream like this dang thing's not working, you know.
Well, so the good news, I mean, for me, I personally, because that's one of the criticisms we get as YouTubers from a lot of people. We have the power of editing to make ourselves look good. And so that we get a lot of criticism sometimes.
Wait, you guys get criticism as YouTubers? What?
It's like, well,
seriously?
Because people see these things, they see these well laid out videos that everything just works, but they don't see all the trial and error that goes in behind it. Right. So, cause
oh my gosh,
you've only got 8 to 12 minutes and then you've lost somebody. So when I do the live streams, I do that for the purpose of goobering up. That's Jeff. Well, that's why I did it live. And, you know, and I got Dave, Hillbilly Ham. You know, he said, no, you need to hit this. It's kind of the same concept that Steve does, T.O. does with ham nuggets. We're just going to do it and go with it. So I do recommend to anybody, if you are thinking about trying this, just go do it. It can be a little overwhelming. I would say the live experience online can be a little overwhelming the first time. Maybe try the app. Just do it kind of in an offline mode where there's not so much stuff turned on, and then ease yourself into it. And I think you'll like it. You'll do fine.
And yeah, I mean, and you don't have to, you know, you can play with a lot of things, you know, it's not like, it's not a super huge commitment to just download something and play around with it. Right. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of, you know, one of the cool things about World Radio League is the mobile to web sync, right? Like it's pretty nice that you can go log your contacts on your phone and then show up and log into a computer and they're there, or you're, you know, especially if you're like hunting POTA from home, it's amazing for that because you've got, you know, your full desktop size with cat control. You can double click a spot, it tunes your radio, and you're just, you know, you're flying through hunting. So WRL is really popular with hunters, but I think, you know, especially with what we're getting into with like contesting, and you don't have to be a big contester to like hop into a contest with WRL. And that's what you know, I'm not a big contester myself. Not many people are like top contesters, right? Like most of us are just like, you know, casual contesters. We want to, you know, you want to get in, maybe have a good run for a couple hours, but like you're going to go to sleep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to be on it. You got to be like next level to be like, hey, let's chug a Red Bull and, you know, and stay on for 24 hours or something.
And news depends.
Yeah. Well, and this is why I like Parks on the Air, because it's like micro contesting in a way, in an environment where Although we do get some people, some hunters that can get a little aggressive. For the most part,
No.
for the most part, you know, people are generally pretty cordial. Everybody throws their call out, but once you start to work somebody, everybody hangs tight. You know, nobody's flipping out and doing stuff because the person on the other end, the hunter, may be having some issues or whatever, or wanting to say hi, because that does happen, right?
Yeah.
And then you take off, right? So it's not the craziness that you get with contesting, and so that's why I like it, because I like to do it in short doses, not
Yeah, I remember when I was
not
watching
hours on end.
I was watching y'all's stream on like New Year's Eve, and somebody was talking about like rag chewers on POTA. I can't remember who was talking about, but I'm kind of the same way. Like sometimes I'll be like doing a POTA activation or something, and I'll get like five contacts in, 10 contacts in, and then I'll just kind of go on and decide with somebody, and then end up like rag chewing for like a couple of minutes, which probably you have some hunters who are there like, okay, let's move this along. But you know, it's
Yeah.
like that's part of it.
I
For
think
me, at least.
generally, because I'll do it. You know, if I can't make contact 3 times, I'll fill my call out. And if I don't get picked up in 3 times, I'm just moving on.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
I'll go down the dial and then I'll swing back around and see if I can get in the next time. I've had some people that aren't necessarily hunting POTA, but have heard me calling CQ and have just replied back. And so they're, you know, maybe not expecting me to just make the contact and go and on to the next one. So yeah, I mean, yes, we'll do a weather report and how you doing and the weather and making it quick. Because I think sometimes you're still getting people that are using the radio for contact, right? Just to be able to interact with other people. So, and that's what's nice, because that's the part of the contesting that I don't like. Everybody gets so bent out of shape because they got to get that exchange and QRZ kind of thing,
Yeah.
right? So,
You guys want to hear a crazy, possibly stupid antenna idea I have? And
absolutely.
Do it.
okay, so I was thinking about this. I may actually build it, but so I recently installed a ham stick. I did a whole mobile antenna setup on my truck. It's working great. It totally changed like my POTA activations, because when you have a mobile setup and it works well, oh my gosh, it's awesome. But it got me thinking, because I was so shocked at how good the ham stick works. I was like, what if I built like some type of like an array of ham sticks on my roof with like a switcher, and then I built like an entire radial system across my roof. Okay. So then, I mean, I have like a 10 to 40 in-fed half wave off the corner of my roof. But imagine you just like, you click a button and you switch between, each ham stick. I mean, I
Nice.
know you could do like probably like an ATOS or something like that at that point, but like, I mean, would that even work? Would it be worth it?
Are you familiar? Probably not. There's a MFJ made one, and I'm sure there's a couple other ones. There was a thing, I believe it was called an octopus, Vince, where it was a hex box, and it had
An octagon box.
Octagon box, and you would create using ham sticks, basically dipoles that were tuned for each band. So opposite each other, you would have one ham stick that was the driven element, the other ham stick that was the other side of the dipole, and
it's a nice little homebrew project too. If you find the right octagon box, you can't get the kind with the knockouts in it, so that means it's hard to find. But you just pop 3H24 antenna mounts into it, and you wire them up for dipoles, and you give them a common feed point. Chameleon even sold it at one point as an antenna mass topper. DX Engineering carried it at one point. So different places have made them, but it gives you 4 bands, right? Because they have to be dipoles. So no switching required. But the problem is if you stick that off the roof of your truck becomes about 15 feet wide. So you
Well,
need
that
like
you
an
might
oversized load
auto-rotate.
sticker.
Oh no, I would put this one on my house. I want to put this on my
Oh,
roof
on your
on my
house.
house.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
it might auto-rotate too. So you might your truck might go lift it up.
Yeah. It might auto rotate is exactly right.
Yeah.
The other thing a guy could consider if you really want to get fancy is Diamond makes a mount that's motorized, and you press a button and it rotates 90 degrees up and 90 degrees down. And so now if you got the right antenna switching in place, watch this one, guys, this is going to be fun. He says to himself, if you get the right antenna switching in place, you just have 8 ham sticks and a great big radio field, and you just need the biggest radio field you got for the
Yep.
longest wavelength, right? And now you just rotate up one ham stick, the other hams, the next ham stick, the next ham stick, and just keep rotating them in and out one at a time. And use 8 of these diamond mounts and some sort of antenna switching widget. It'll probably cost you, $4,000 in parts and relays and solenoids and stuff, but who cares? It's ham radio. We're here for fun.
Yeah, I that's almost exactly what I was imagining in my head, Vince. I used one of the AIs like ChatGPT to like make like a mock-up of it. But the thing is, I think you have to, in that case, you don't want, I guess, the other ham stick to be like parallel with it and nearby and start getting like, start resonating, and it's probably going to kill your performance, I would imagine. So you probably want it to kind of,
Yeah. I'm just trying to, what's the word? There's an expression. Oh, I was trying to Rube Goldberg the simple antenna device by suggesting all of that, right? But tank radios in the house.
Tank radio.
There we go.
What the heck?
So you can do that. There's probably easier ways to do it though.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, Mike, our friend, the traveling ham, did ask.
And 14 other people did ask.
Well,
desktop
and I asked them to chill out.
Yep, I was asking about an update on the desktop app. I know, Dave. Yeah, that I was about to put Dave in the timeout.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are on it, and we know how important it is. And I never get sick of hearing it because like every time we hear somebody mention the same thing, it's like another vote in the priority bucket of the million things we have to do. It's like, hey,
right on.
We need to get this done.
All right. So what's the answer?
So
we need to get this done.
Beta's coming out in February.
Awesome.
Cool.
So that puts us probably like where you have like a stable desktop app release. I'd put it for March.
Okay. That's very cool.
And if I still have 2 feet by then, I'll eat my foot. If we don't get the beta out in February.
All right. Well, that's exciting. This product has come a very long way in a very short time. Full kudos to you guys for all the efforts that the whole team has put into it.
I got a long way to go and a short time to get there. Got to keep that hammer down.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, shout out to the guys on the WRL team, Brad, K4AZE, product engineer, Andy, N0WRL, who's hopping on and, talking to community and I think he was talking to you even, Tim, Andy, but, before as well. So, and Andy's been incredible, and the community of everybody that's also just helping kind of guide us around and make sure we have the right features too.
The features that the community wants.
Exactly.
Yeah, indeed.
And everybody that's signed up to become a member, because it's kept us going. Once you get to the scale of kind of cloud where we are, so we just crossed 50,000 users, and we're getting on the order of 1 million plus contacts a week right now. So it's become it's a cloud engineering challenge, because you got to keep that database up. You have to keep it performant. You can't just directly query the database on everything. You have to set up views. You have to, at that level of scale, things like optimization start mattering a lot. So we spend a lot of time on the back end and managing cloud infrastructure and things like that.
And then for those of us who've never used it, never seen it, give us some basics. Looks like there's a free sign up. Maybe there's paid strata levels. What do they give you?
Yeah, so the first thing is that pretty much everything you knew, if you want to just use this and log for free forever, you can do it without ever needing to pay. But if you do want to, support the project and become a member, if you go to I can share my screen again as well too. If you'd like to take a look, you can go to app.worldradioleague.com and /membership, and it'll take you through the different levels. And so pretty much the main thing that if you were a free member, the one thing that you'd probably get hung up on if you didn't sign up was your ability to import contacts. You can't import extremely large ADIFs on a free plan, but you can continue to log forever. So, hey, if you're thinking about using this for winter field day or just testing it, you're never going to hit a blocker and we're going to just say, hey, you can't log contacts. Like you can always log contacts for free. But ADIF imports in particular, we get a very large volume of those. So we kind of gate that for our cloud costs. We're continually adding more advanced analytics for our premium users, premium integrations, printable PDF awards, additional levels of support. So if you're any type of member, like a basic, premium, or VIP, and you send us a message, you're getting a response within 24 hours, usually much less than that. And that generally includes weekends. So like if you're having an issue with cat control or something, like we're here. And we actually, for our VIP members, we also send a VIP pin as well, which is really cool. Don't think I have any on me right now, but that's the
Oh, that's great. And Interstellar Starman says it's great to hear the explanation, the rationale behind the different levels, and I think you guys have got them structured really well that way.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Good job, man.
I agree, and I do want to point out somebody that operates in this space, and my organization spends quite a bit of money in cloud computing costs. So I know what that looks like. It's not free to operate up there, guys. So please, support them financially, even if it's a small membership, whatever, because those are the kind of things that keeps this environment going. I think that the days of everything being free, in general, are gone. If you want advanced development, if you want nicer experience, those kind of things, there's got programmers that are not necessarily amateur radio operators. They got people that need to put food on the table for their families. So those are the things when you look at it. There is the free tier, but please consider supporting the organization through a membership to help that out. Our friend Jody has already put together something. Let me see if I can.
And Frank, Tank Radio's got a good comment. The cloud isn't free, right? It might be somebody else's hard drive, but it isn't free.
Yep. So
Nice.
There you go.
This is awesome.
Basic
that's
so up there.
Cool. I love that. Okay.
So, well, guys,
I'll see if we can't get that before Hamcation. Vince, are you going to be at Hamcation?
I'm not actually. I'm not traveling down this year at all. I've got other stuff on the go.
Me and Tim will hold it down then.
Yeah, right on. You do that.
Jeff is going to be there. There's going to be a whole group of people there, and I hope this year is going to be. Well, every year has been fun. Every year that I've been there has been fun, and it's obviously more funner when you know people, right? So, which is a good thing, and I think that's probably what kept me from going over to Hamcation more in the past. It wasn't until I started meeting some people that I went over, and I'm like, what? Why haven't I been doing this sooner? So, well, guys, it is a Ham Nation night tonight, so we are going to get out of here. Jeff, what do you got? What do you got going on?
Oh, I got some ideas that are brewing. got a video that I don't know if I'm gonna release next Tuesday. Might do it Wednesday. It's gonna be a little bit longer. This is one of those days. But I've been busy with work, mental stuff. Got jury duty tomorrow. I'm not looking forward to that. But that's what's going on. Hopefully going out this
Convict 'em all.
weekend. Yeah, that's if I get picked, that's what my answer is. Like,
Yeah.
we're all guilty.
Yeah.
But but yeah, I'm just looking forward to the weekend. Got a ham radio breakfast Saturday morning, then probably do some Parks on the Air either Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning, among doing other things. So we shall see.
Awesome. James, how about you? Anything going on next couple? Well, I mean, you guys are probably pretty busy with all the stuff leading up to Winter Field Day.
You know, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, mostly just getting ready for Winter Field Day, and it looks like this weekend should be pretty quiet. Maybe I might head up to Toccoa, up in North Georgia, hit the mountains. Maybe I'll see if I can find a new POTA up there. But my parents live up in kind of more rural area, so it's always like a nice. It's actually. Have you ever heard of the radio called the Mountain Topper?
Yep.
It's like,
yeah.
So that's actually based on a mountain up Currahee Mountain up in North Georgia in
Oh, right
Toccoa.
on.
So I might be up in that area.
Awesome.
Cool.
Do you do any SOTA? I'm assuming they have SOTA summits there if they got mountains.
I've done a little bit of SOTA, but not too much. I mean, like I did just get a G90, so that would be my most portable rig. But I've been doing a 7300 is my man rig. So like hiking around with the 7300 up like summits, it's like you get a workout.
Yeah.
I need to get into that a little bit more though. I keep saying I'm going to, but and then I get lazy.
It happens. It's all good. Vince, what do you got going on?
Dude, not a whole bunch. I've been busy integrating a new radio in the shack that starts with flex and ends with 6600. I'm sure there'll be some stories to tell.
Yeah.
And that's exactly probably why my audio devices were so frigged up tonight. Anyway, Tim, what about you, man?
Got some more videos coming out on the 7300, but then also I'm going to get on the bandwagon. I'm going to do some harping. We've got a lot of people just indiscriminately throwing out advice about how to get your house connected to the internet in a way that maybe isn't going to be so good for the end user, so they could do remote radio. And I think I need to try to put together some videos to make sure that we're not making suggestions to people that expose things in their home internets that they may not want to expose. So I'm going to be doing that, and that's it for me.
You've got a Mark II now as well, Tim, don't you?
I do. Yes.
Are you using it quite a bit?
I love it. Yeah. So
yeah, I need to upgrade.
It was the reason that I got a Flex, because I was a 7300 fan, but I wanted to do that remote radio, and so I went with the Flex. And then when ICOM announced that they were doing this network-based one, I'm like, it's peanut butter and jelly for me. Yeah. So I actually had it this last Sunday. I took it out to the forest and did a live POTA with it, and was able to tie the video right into the live stream, and it was awesome.
Hey, so awesome. Speaking of live stream, it is the top of the hour. Everybody should go watch Ham Nation, and if you're not watching Ham Nation, apparently Tank Radio. I saw him in the comments earlier. Thanks for coming out, folks. 73.
All right, 73. Everybody, have a great week.
Thanks, everybody. 73. Right.